what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here, and this is high grade number 203, the Gunpla Evolution Project version of Zeta Gundam. If you haven't seen the unboxing video yet, make sure to check that one out, but for now, onto the model itself. So there's the high grade Zeta Gundam out of the box and snapped together with no extra effort whatsoever. I've put on the stickers, and there's quite a lot of those, as you can see right there. This thing comes with an absolutely catastrophic amount of stickers, especially for the red parts. I never got around to paneling this guy, so it doesn't look as good as it could, but on the other hand, what you're seeing right here then is what it looks like straight out of the box. Besides the stickers, however, the color on here is really nice. The yellow is a nice off yellow towards orange, so it is nice and warm, not too like lemon yellowy or anything like that. The red also really pops in person and looks really good with the blue. But besides all of that, there is nothing so fantastic about this. Even the build itself was pretty uneventful. It's been a long time since I've built a standard high grade. The Iron-Blooded Orphans were such fun, fast builds. I really loved them. Even though they were quite repetitive, they were so fast it never got boring. But something like this is just an old school, standard high grade, a little nicer, I guess, in some aspects. Especially inside of the chest here, we've got some really nice mechanics that work. The new fancy articulation of the arms, the shoulders especially. But besides that, I'm really not digging it, especially all these stickers. The color accuracy is not good at all. It's very basic, and like I said, it's a typical high grade. Compared to some recent releases, like the Iron-Blooded Orphans kits and the high grade Atlas, it's very flat and very boring. So there is a quick comparison to the only other version of Zeta Gundam I have, which is the real grade Zeta. Detail-wise, this looks so much better than that, but this hasn't aged well at all. It was pretty loose when I got it first, now it's just, I don't know. It's beyond a joke how crappy it is. If you're wondering how a real grade Zeta Gundam will hold up after a few years, well, not so good. And all I did was review this once, transform it once, and then just keep it on a shelf. And it just went like that. So there's the high grade Zeta Gundam with everything that it comes with. And what we get in here is pretty cool, which is weapons, and pretty not so cool, which is parts forming parts for changing it into the Wave Rider. I'll just mention at this point right here that I would prefer if they made a version of Zeta without any kind of transformation whatsoever, just the mobile suit. Because the transformation tends to make the mobile suit version a little bit wonky. Not so much here, so far anyway. But it'd be cool to have a version that's just for displaying the mobile suit with the weapons, imposes, and stuff like that. But anyway, in here we get one standard set of manipulators, so that means no expressive hands in here, which is a disappointment. This is meant to be part of a Gundam Evolution project, and I think it's about time they evolved some better hands. These ones are fine for holding weapons, but for posing it without weapons, they just look bad. So Bandai, more expressive hands please. Next up then is the shield, and this can be made longer or shorter by pulling this out like that, popping it in up there. So there is the shorter version, move it back to the longer version once more, and that is the longer version. There is the part for attaching it onto the arm. To do that, you just pull this section here off the back of the forearm and pop that little segment in there, like so. In the front there, you can see the grenade launcher sculpted in there. And as for stickers, we have a yellowy orange. And as for stickers, we have a yellow one on the side, both sides. And this whole section here, that's one big red sticker. Next up then is the beam rifle, and just like the shield, that can attach onto the back of the forearm, like so, for storage. And when you take that off then, the handle can pull down from here, and the barrel extends like that. This section here, that can tuck in under, and as for the lens, I know on some of these that can move, but sadly, not on this one. And to equip that then, that just slides into the hand, simple as that. Also, of course, with the Zeta, you can take one of the beam effect parts and stick that into the top of the beam rifle to be used as a beam saber, just like so. Also, I almost forgot to mention there are some grenade launchers tucked away inside the forearms like that, which is an incredibly nice detail for a high grade. Same goes for the other side over here, just pull that little flap open and there they are. That is awesome. Next up then is the Hyper Beam Launcher, and this thing is really big. That's got a handle on the top there. This section can slide out like that as if it wasn't long enough. And we have some flaps that open here, here, down here, as well as a handle here, here, and last one here. So it does look deceptively simple at first, but it's not as simple as you would actually imagine. So that is definitely awesome, and I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, so now this is a big weapon. This guy doesn't come with any sort of stand for it, so let's see what it's like once it's attached. How can he hold on to it, and does it make it a little bit unsteady? And also this part here, if you think this was pointing around the other way a little while ago, no. No, it wasn't. Definitely not. But anyway, here we go. Okay, so first off, popping it into this hand. Ugh. Okay, so first off, popping it into this hand here. In the manual, it seems to be kind of craned up here somewhere like that. Then we're gonna have to try and get this into that hand there. Man, those keep falling off. That's kind of annoying. But anyway, here we go. Try and get that into the... And the back just fell off the hand. This has actually fallen off a few times, and I won't lie, it's getting a little bit irritating. But anyway, let's try and get that in. There's the hand off again. This actually doesn't even seem to be an accessory. This is more like a articulation test for the kit. It says it's got great articulation, so they include something to show that, you know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I'm not sure, but according to the manual, this arm's kind of craned up like this to aim it, but so far this is a little bit awkward. But however, having it at this angle here, from the side, it doesn't look too bad, I guess, but it's kind of locking everything in place, so it's holding it really well. This isn't pulling with any of the joints, it's pulling down, I guess, kind of perpendicular or so to the way the joints bend. So that's supporting what is a very heavy weapon really well. I'm impressed by that. That actually worked out better than I thought it would. Last up then is a pair of beam sabers there in grey. You've already seen the effect parts already because I used it with the rifle, but here is what one looks like in the actual beam saber handle. Looking quite good there. I like the color here. This isn't the usual pink, is it? Maybe it's a newer form of pink. I haven't seen a beam weapon with a high grade in a long time. But anyway, that just slots into the hand just like with the rest of the weapons, and there is the beam saber. So anyway, now onto the articulation, and starting from the head down. There is the head all the way up, all the way to the front. A little bit awkward here as it gets kind of caught in the collar. You're not going to get much left and right at all out of that. Yeah, that seems quite caught in there. Next up, the arms, and there it is, lifted all the way up, and that is impressive. What's going on inside of the chest and all along here, that is pretty cool. The backpack is going to get in the way of it rotating around. We've got a little section, a flap here that moves up and down. That arm rotates at that point. The bend at the elbow, I already know, is fantastic here. It goes all the way up and can meet the upper arm and shoulder there. The ball joint at the wrist is the same as you've seen thousands of times before. Again, this joint up here is fantastic. That can pull out to give you even more range of motion there, even to the front and down like this. It says this has some of the best articulation in a high grade, and for a classic style high grade, this is definitely really cool. Impressive. Next up is the bane of the articulation of most Gunpla, and that is the waist. Crunch that to the front, that's very nice, all the way to the back. Something's after falling off, it's its butt. But anyway, one more time, there it is, all the way to the front, that's quite nice. Not much to the back because of this big, awkward backpack, but yeah, that's pretty good. Side to side. God damn it, I hate the Zeta Gundam's backpack, so I'm just taking it off for this section. Come on, you get out of the way there. And you too. Well, it fell apart, so there is a quick look of what the inside structure of this joint is like, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't just point straight up. It's kind of like a hinge joint and a ball joint there. There is all the goings on inside of the torso. That's pretty cool. The ball joint slots into that front section there. That might be kind of hard to show. It might be too dark, but that pops in there like so. But anyway, there it is side to side, and there's nothing at all. So there is a bit of front and back. Nothing fantastic, but then again, it is an improvement on some high grades. We've got rotation there most of the way around, but if you try and spin it past this point, it will knock off the butt plate. There's the front skirt all the way up. Side skirt can go up and slightly back and forward there. The back skirting armor, there it is all the way up again. So most things have quite a decent range of motion on here. There's the leg all the way up to the front, perfect. All the way to the back, amazing. And then there is the split, so this can fully do the splits, no problem. The side skirting can get in the way a little bit, but once that's moved out of the way, you've got the full splits, beyond the full splits even. Next we have rotation up here at the thigh, not the full 360 degrees, just a little bit there, to there like that. Next is the bend at the knee, and because it transforms around here, you get more than your average bend. Not to the back it's fine, but it bends all the way up to the front like that. So there is to the back, the natural way, and there is to the front, the unnatural way. But then again, who is to say what is natural and not natural for a robot? We've got this part here that moves up and down, this little front flap. As for the standard ankle motion, that's side to side there. Not too much of the back because it's blocked by this segment. Not too much of the front because it gets blocked there. But the foot can close down like this as part of the transformation, so you get a little bit more there. But not a whole lot because of all this armor around there. But all in all, I have to say the articulation on here is extremely impressive. For a Zeta Gundam, it is extremely impressive. Ah yeah, there is the backpack too. This middle section, that has a joint in the middle like that. Stick that back on, and yeah, it's just really that part there. These wing sections, when they're not attached, you can see we've got some motion on this part here which connects it to the back. We have one wing that pops out up here, and then we have this little mechanism inside where you push up here, and that moves that all out like that. But yeah, like I said, the articulation on here for a Zeta Gundam is fantastic. Really good. The best articulation on a high grade ever? Maybe not, but it's definitely a contender. So next on to what is my least favorite aspect of anything to do with robots, and that is the transformation. So I'm just gonna speed this up and get through it quickly. Okay, I'll just stop at this point and mention, you may have seen during that transformation phase there that this section came from down here and was put on here. This stops this whole joint from moving when it's transformed. That is incredibly smart. I don't know if that was on the older version of the high grade Zeta or not, but that's a great idea. So there it is, transformed into Wave Rider mode without the Hyper Beam Launcher. Pop that on there, and that is what it looks like put all together, and I have to say I'm impressed. I really need to learn to start reserving judgment until I've done something, because usually I hate transformations. This was a little bit confusing at first, nothing too hard. There is a lot of the actual Zeta left over of the mobile suit version. We've got the whole torso and whatnot. This is good, in my opinion, that this is actually removed from it. So these joints in the arms are only for that extra articulation. So because all of this kind of moving parts are removed from this and you just use that big block of grey plastic, this is really sturdy. I say that and then the shield falls off. But anyway, it is really sturdy beside that one section there. And it looks really good as well. Like really nice. The colors just go together so well in this form. The red, they're sandwiched between the blue and the white as kind of highlights towards the back and stuff. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, again, I'm impressed. So that is it for the review, and I'm shocked. I'm actually, in the end, I'm impressed by this. The build itself was boring, extremely boring. The plastic is definitely of good quality, but it's one of those kind of high grades where it's got a lot of parts, but the payoff in the end isn't really worth the time when you're building it, or so I thought. The articulation is as good as the box boasts. Maybe not as good as the box boasts, because it says the greatest range of motion in high-grade history. That is very debatable. That's a big, bold statement. But as far as a Zeta Gundam goes, definitely. Absolutely definitely. Someone's going to ask at some point, would I recommend this or the real grade? 100% this. The real grade, it does look great at first, and I guess it always will look great. But the thing is, there's no actual playability to it at all, and once you transform it once or twice, it starts to loosen up. And this kit right here is as solid as a rock. The accessories are awesome, the colors look great, it does have a lot of stickers on there, which is a shame because the shades of the plastic are really nice. The colors are great. And it would have been nice if they had just done the trim on the backpack in that awesome crimson red, and it would have been perfect. All in all, at the end of the day, all I can say is I'm shocked. It's better than I thought it would be, and I'm impressed. So if you're thinking of picking this one up, and I see absolutely no reason not to. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. See you next time.